I want to know about evil women ghosts that cry, Mateo.
There's plenty of them to learn about.
Why are they so sad?
There's some good reasons with a few of these broads.
You insensitive prick. Tell me more.
Let me start off by saying I meant no offense by the term broads. I don't even mean it endearingly. It just came out. I'm sorry.
You goddamn broad ghost. Always sitting there crying. Get over it and go make me a goddamn sandwich.
A ghost sandwich.
I want a ghost sandwich. Extra ectoplasm.
Has to be good.
It's gotta be good. Otherwise, I don't want it.
But all jokes aside, there is quite a long list of ghost ladies that are weeping all the time.
But why?
Well, let's start with Lllorona. And I'm just going to say it just like that. Because I've been practicing for about a week and a half now. And I instead of saying my Sharona, I'm just going to say it as plain as I can.
Well, I think you did a fine job, Mateo.
Yes.
Good for you.
Thank you. But that translates to the crying woman. I mean, that's exactly what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, she's so sad. Why?
Well, the urban legend, and it's mostly popular in Mexican folklore, although there are similar creatures, which we'll get into, that exist in other cultures and go by different names. But her basic background is the story of a young, beautiful mother of two named Maria. Maria discovers that her husband has left her for a younger woman, and maddened by grief, she takes her two children to a nearby river and drowns them both, presumably to get back at her wayward husband. But once she sobers from her rage, she realizes what she's done and drowns herself as well. And once she reaches the gates of heaven, she is questioned about her children and their whereabouts. And she had no good reason. She didn't want to say she killed her children. Some stories say that she just says that I killed them. And she's denied entry into heaven. And she's cursed to roam the earth, searching for her children, all for not them being dead. She won't be able to find them. All along searching, she cries out loud, sometimes saying, "Oh, my children, where are my children?" But parents warn their children about Lllorona to keep them from wandering around at night. So it has a bit of a folklore thing, like it serves a purpose, I guess.
Yeah, it's really funny how many of these urban legends are used to scare kids. Like Krampus. Hey, if you're good, you'll get a present. If not, Krampus is going to beat you with sticks, take you back to his lair, and boil you alive.
Yeah, it gets worse when it comes from like the warnings to the kids that are told by parents. Like in the cases where they tell children and warn them about wandering around at night, she kidnaps wandering children and drags them to the closest river and drowns them while she begs for forgiveness. So it turned into hearing some weird sound and identifying it to, this bitch is going to kill you if you fucking are out at night.
Don't go near that bitch. She'll drown you in a lake. That's so creepy for parents to tell their kids that story.
It is. And then they tell them in some tales to hear her cry is to be marked for death. Although you can escape this mark of death if you flee immediately.
So her cry will bring about death rather than being like a warning of death.
Yes, once you hear it, I don't think she fucking kills you or tries to drown you, but once you go about your life, you're for sure to die soon.
So it's like you're cursed if you hear her scream.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn, that's hardcore.
It is. But I mean, it appropriately sounds like an urban myth, you know, the ever famous weeping widow in white.
Yeah, there's the lady in white is like all over the world. It's crazy. There's a famous one that I actually just found out about in Rochester, New York. It's like an hour and a half from me, and it's haunts this graveyard in Rochester. And I had no idea that this was a thing, but I just found out about it in researching this show. The White Lady. But they're all over the world. And like every country, well, I shouldn't say every because that's, but they're all similar apparently, of just a woman in white who's crying.
Yeah, I think growing up as a young adult, I've moved around a lot. And I can say that, like, just a round number, there was about 5 different counties, places far from each other that I lived in. And literally each county had their own lady in white story.
Yeah, it's almost like an urban legend in a lot of cases. Like something that high school kids will, they'll dare their friends to go to the graveyard at this particular point at night. Usually it's like after midnight. And you go in after midnight and you say the name and the lady in white will appear and then she'll chase you out of the graveyard.
And I think that's where the urban legend stuff gets weird, because like we were talking about, they use these as tools to keep kids in line. But why do like young adults and teenagers try to keep it alive by telling other older kids shit that's like, go to the graveyard and you'll see the lady in white? I mean, she's not going to fucking show up. And it's and I don't know, in my reasoning, even as a young adult, I'm like, why do that? Why sit there and be like, yeah, say Bloody Mary, 5 times in the mirror and
I
watch.
Don't, just because it's fun to. When you're a little kid, you get the rush. Like, what if it does happen? Like, it's not going to, but what if it does, though?
Yeah.
Like, that's not going to happen, but what if it does?
I always just laughed when the people who told those stories were like, yeah, dude, you ever hear about this? And I just always wanted to hear the one story from the kid that was like, you ask them, you ever hear of the lady in white? And they just freeze and turn pale. And they're like, no, I've never heard about it.
I don't want to talk about her because I definitely haven't seen her and I for sure don't believe in her. So please don't ever bring her up again.
Yeah, that's the kid I'd bug. Not the one laughing while they told the story.
Not the one whose cousin's best friend witnessed something in the woods.
Yeah.
Come on, man, I can trust my cousin. He said his best friend saw it. His best friend saw it. I know it.
He doesn't lie.
No. Cousin Bill he's a no-nonsense type of character.
Well, Lllorona is linked to other creatures like I had mentioned before. Some you'll go over, but I found that she's sometimes linked or actually identified as a woman known as La Malinche. And again, I'm probably saying that wrong or horribly.
Your wife would punch you.
Yeah, she's South American, so yeah, I'm glad she's not here.
I'm glad she's not here.
So let's see here. She was a member of the Nua tribe from the Gulf of Mexico in the late 14th century. And it was said that she was one of 20 women gifted to Spanish conquistador Hernan Cortez as slaves. She acted as an interpreter, advisor, as well as Cortez's mistress. She soon became pregnant by Cortez and gave birth to a boy. The story goes much as La Llorona's, that Cortez just ditches her and goes back to Spain, and as an act of revenge, she drowns their son.
Well, that's definitely some pretty solid revenge.
Yeah, and her fate is pretty much the same as La Foxy, my Sharona.
My Foxy.
My
Foxy. Sharona.
So she's cursed to roam the earth, crying aloud about her child and asking people if they've seen her. But there's some interesting facts about this character, La Malinche. She's referred to, I guess, as a traitor in Mexico. I mean, the term Malinchista refers to a disloyal friend or somebody who denies their Mexican heritage. And even in 1982, they erected a statue of her and her son in, I think, Mexico City, and they had to take it down because people were so pissed about it.
Really? Why were they so pissed?
Because she's a traitor. I guess she shacked up with the conquistadors.
Oh, I see.
That was it. But she was on the 5 peso bill in 1901, so I guess part of the history of her outweighs their hatred of her. I guess, but I don't know. To hear, so it was a bunch of students that were like, "We'll tear this fucking thing down if you don't get it out of here."
Well, I guess it sucks to be the people that made that statue down, doesn't it?
Yeah. Waste of time.
It's probably in the fucking Indiana Jones warehouse.
I gotta apologize for the dog, guys. There might be a lot of random noises. It's Super Bowl night, and there's people making fucking noise everywhere. So
Yeah, we're that cool that we're doing a podcast on Super Bowl night. That's what we do.
the dog gets a free pass, or else I'd predator it and hang it on the balcony of where it lives.
Wow, that's rough.
I'm tired of that fucking dog barking. It's a new dog somebody got, and they just fucking leave it outside, no matter what weather conditions it is. It's annoying.
Honestly, like the past 3 or 4 weeks, that dog has been barking every single time we try to record. So we really can't blame it on the Super Bowl. Well, it's just the fucking owners suck. That's about it.
There's people
The
screaming
dog's annoying
too.
and the owners suck. Yeah, but the thing is, I don't hear the people. I always hear the dog.
Oh, good.
Yeah. The dog is like, I don't know how you edit around it. It's pretty impressive, honestly.
Oh, thank you, Sal. Thank you.
All right, enough hand jobbery. Let's get back to business.
Back to weeping ghost ladies.
Yeah, back to scary, spooky ghost ladies.
I came across a group called the Chumash tribe, located in Southern California. They also speak of my Lllorona. They speak about her in their mythology and even explain what she is. They use her to describe or explain what they call, okay, these are difficult, nunasis, which are creatures of the underworld. That translates from this tribe's language to creatures of the underworld. And they say that my Lllorona is a type of nunasis called the Maxulau, or the Mama Simis. And they claim to hear her cries come down from treetops. And they share the same story that she drowned her children and she's cursed to do that, but she actually has like a name and I guess a species type in their mythology.
So it's something separate than a ghost.
Or a certain type. I mean, it says that they use her to talk about this thing called the Maxulau, and in that creature's mythos that its cry is said to be an omen of death, and that's supposed to mean you're gonna die like within a few seconds. But they also describe that thing as
like more of a warning than a curse.
Yeah, like you got a couple seconds. But they describe it looking as like a
like heads up.
Dead. That's it. But it's described as a leathery cat, so it's not.
My God.
It's far from a lady in white clothes, but I guess that's just what.
Maybe she rides on it though.
What? Rides on it? That would be awesome.
Yeah, the lady in white rides on the leathery cat, and she's crying, and it's screaming, and people are dying left and right. God damn, that needs to be a fucking music video or a horror movie or something. That's way too cool not to be something.
But it was cool to see that story go all the way up and down the coast, you know, stories from Southern California tribes down to Mexico and then further into Southern America. And they all are pretty similar. I mean, I read that there's stories of this lady in white, this crying lady in white who drowned her children, that it originated as folklore anyway in like the 1400s in Germany.
Is the story behind it similar?
I'm not sure. I couldn't find too much on that. I did find a lot of stuff that linked the mythology or the urban legendness of this story of a lady who's killed her children and is now cursed. There's the Greek tale of Lamia, who shares similarities with my Lllorona. As Zeus would, he would fly down to earth and pick the finest honeys to make babies with.
But didn't she ended up getting turned into a woman with a snake body?
Yes, they started humping and she started having kids by Zeus. And when Hera found out, she killed every child that Lamia had with Zeus. And she was so stricken with grief that she transformed into a serpent-like monster who constantly hunts the children of others out of jealousy of the loss of her own children. So that's kind of the same type of story. There's another Greek tale of Medea who kills her own 2 children fathered by Jason of the Argonauts fame after he left her. So,
man, what a dick Jason is.
Well, I'd have to say mom's a little bit bigger of a dick, you know. My My dad took off too, but my mom didn't kill me, so.
Well, I guess that's a perk if you're looking at it that way.
Good looking out,
Well,
Mom.
at least my mom didn't slaughter me as an infant. Thanks, Ma.
Yeah. So the tale of the cursed woman after killing their own children goes back all the way to ancient Greek mythology, but when you hear about this, it's mainly the Lllorona character, which is very interesting. I mean, it's in some cases, like I said, she'll take you if you're a kid and kill you, but most of the time it's just you hear her. It's just nothing really happens after that.
So really, it could just be she's screaming in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Or just like some woman screaming.
What if it's like the explanation to some like creepy animal sound? I mean, just like the Tasmanian devil got its name because
like
it sounds like a demon. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be a lot of things, but little kids tell stories. But it is interesting that like so many different cultures have a similar character, and that it's usually tied around child death of some sort.
Yeah, and it's a spectral character. There's not going to be any evidence. It's just a fucking story. If you see it, lucky you.
Yeah. Lucky or unlucky you as the case may be. But there's definitely even worse than these, though.
Really?
All right, so in Malaysia, there's two different creatures that have a similar story. One is the Pontianak, and this is the spirit of a child who died either in the mother's womb or during childbirth. And this thing, it looks like a pale-skinned woman with long black hair and red eyes wearing a white dress smeared with blood. But in addition to that, they can take on the appearance of a beautiful woman or also some carnivorous beast.
Ooh.
But according to legend, they come out on the full moon and they'll make the sounds of a baby crying. And if it's a soft, quiet cry, that means that the Pontianak is near and to be on the lookout. But if it's a loud, shrill cry, then it means that it's far off. And you don't really need to hear it.
Really?
Or, I mean, you don't really need to worry about encountering it. It's far off.
Wow.
But the legend further states that if someone hears a dog howling in the distance, that it means the Pontianak is far away. But if a dog is whining, that it means the Pontianak is nearby. That goes along with the idea that dogs are sensitive to spirits and things like that. So it would be afraid if it was nearby. But as they approach, you pick up the smell of flowers. But as the smell of flowers blows by, it's followed by the smell of rotting bodies.
Ooh.
But basically what this thing is said to do is lure the victims in by sounding like a crying baby. And when the victim approaches, she digs into their stomach with her sharp fingernails and begins to eat their organs.
Oh, yeah, that's way worse than hearing just some sad lady.
Yeah. This isn't a curse. You will be disemboweled and cannibalized.
Whoa. Smelly, beautiful roses, then rotting people, and then in my case, the aroma of feces, and then disembowelment.
Yeah.
So it's a whirlwind of emotions before you die.
It is. And on top of that, it's part of the legend also says that if your eyes are open and you see the Pontianak, she'll suck the eyes out of your head.
Oh. Yikes.
And to further complicate things, she locates her victims by sniffing for laundry that's hanging on the line outside.
Yikes. I would just become a monster hunter and like wear underwear that have eyeballs painted on them. Boom, boom. I'll take that out. I'm sorry.
Oh, man. But she's most active at night, and during the day, apparently her spirit goes and sleeps inside banana trees.
That's interesting.
There is a way to fight her off. If you have a nail and you see her, there's a hole at the nape of her neck, and you can stab a nail in there. And if you do this, it said you'll turn her into a beautiful woman that you can marry, and she'll become a good wife until the nail is removed.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's a huge gamble, but
Yeah.
it's now they're burning stuff because football.
Football burning. Even though 2 East Coast teams, what the hell do you guys care?
It's just an opportunity to burn stuff.
Yay, burn stuff.
Can you imagine taking that risk? Just my ghost wife, you gotta, don't touch that, please.
Yeah. Gotta be careful when you're having the freaky sex.
You gotta, be gentle with the lovemaking.
Yeah.
Don't touch.
You don't want to knock that nail loose.
Tape it up.
Yeah, that's what you'd have to do. You'd have to like throw some tape on it and then make sure she wears a choker like forever.
Yeah, why don't you just bend the nail and like make it a loop? She'll have some cool like suspension piercing in her back. Done deal. Look at that. I figured it out. Get me a ghost chick.
A cannibalistic ghost chick that's the ghost of an unborn baby. Good for you.
I'll be in all the tabloids.
Yeah. Adult man marries ghost baby that looks like full-grown woman with a nail in her neck.
Ew. You just ruined it.
I did. I wonder if she'll change the white dress smeared in blood though, or if that's like a thing that she's just like, you know what? This is what you have to deal with. I'll be a good wife, but you got to deal with my bloody white dress.
That's the blood of other assholes who tried to pierce my neck.
These are the blood of assholes who crossed my path, who didn't have a nail in their pocket to stick in my neck. You got to think about trying to plunge a nail in the back of the neck of something that's literally trying to dig out your entrails with her bare hands.
Yeah, it's just, the end of the rainbow, an impossible task.
Unless you've got like a taser or something, or a net. Like a really strong net that you can just throw over. Or if you're wearing like armor and she can't get through your stomach, and you're like, haha, nail to your neck.
I wonder if you were super pretty at that time, they would check the back of your neck to see if there's a nail in it.
Imagine you find out that some asshole has one of these ghost women as his wife, and you go over there one day and you're like, oh, I'm going to fuck with him. And you just pull the nail out and then run. Man, creepy shit. There's an Indonesian version of the Pontianak called the Kuntilanak. And this takes the form of a bird and will suck the blood of virgins and young women.
The bird
and it
will?
makes a kee, kee, kee sound as it flies. And it can also it can make people sick through use of magical abilities. And one of the key symptoms of the sickness is vaginal bleeding.
Oh my God. So pretty much every woman from age...
Yeah. So basically, if you have your period, you are being attacked by a ghost bird thing.
Damn. That's a shitty card.
Yeah. So sucks to be you guys. But then in Malaysia, they also have another ghost woman, and she's the ghost of a woman who died in childbirth. And she's scary as all hell. Terrifying. She appears as a beautiful woman with long black hair that reaches her ankles, but she also can take the form of a floating head with entrails dripping out of the neck and a spinal column dangling.
Yeah, aren't the lungs attached as well?
Yeah.
Nice.
But they're also described as having really long nails on their hands and having hands that extend down to their feet.
Whoa.
But they are said to wear robes when they're in human form, not floating bloody head form. But this is said to feed primarily on the blood of newborn male children. But it will also drink from female children, because when in Rome...
Can't pass upon any good baby blood? Baby
No,
blood's
I mean,
baby blood. You gotta drink that shit when you got
I
it.
mean, if I would prefer the male, but
Times change. You can't be picky.
But there's one origin of this. This one is called the Langsure, and the origin is said to be that it was a woman who died in shock after hearing that her child was born a stillborn and had become a Pontionic. And after she was told that her child turned into a Pontionic, I don't know how how they knew, but apparently, like, oh shit, here's a dead baby and there's a creepy monster tearing people's guts out. But on hearing the news, she clapped her hands and flew away into a tree and perched in the tree.
Whoa.
So she didn't turn into a bird. She just fucking flew into a tree and perched there.
And lived out the rest of her days picking at the
reason
leaves.
Her hair is so long is because it covers a hole in her back. And that's apparently through this hole in her back, she sucks the blood.
Oh, does something protrude from the hole, or?
I guess it's like a mouth.
Ooh.
Yeah. So you cut her, if you were to move her hair, there'd be a mouth back there.
For baby eating.
Yeah.
That's a little bit creepier for some reason.
Yeah. But this one also has a similar weakness, but this one's a lot harder. You need to catch her, and then you cut her nails and her hair, and you stuff them into her neck hole, and then she'll become an ordinary woman.
Oh, you gotta feed her back mouth, her hair and fingernail
her hair
trimmings?
and nails. Yeah.
Dang.
And in legend, there have been cases where she's become a wife and a mother.
Ooh, after eating the hair and nails?
Yeah.
Wow.
And she, at one point, apparently she was dancing at a village party, and through the dancing, she reverted back to her ghostly form and took off into the night and hung out in a gloomy forest.
That sucks for that dude. He's like, but I love you. I fed you your fucking hair.
Mom, why did you fly away into the forest?
Yeah, the kids.
And then she's like,
if you come into the forest, I will eat you through my neck mouth. I kid you not, I'll stuff you right the fuck in there. Stay away.
Stay away from the woods. Oh my god.
That sucks. The cure reversed, huh? You can never win.
Yeah. So if you stuff their neck hole with hair and nails, just don't let them dance.
Or just keep an extra supply of hair and nail clippings. And before you go to parties, you got to give her a little dose. You'd be like, open up that back hole. Yeah. Come on.
All right. This just a little top you off. A little dab will do you.
It's for the safety of everybody.
Yeah. It's just to make sure that you don't fly off into the forest and try to eat children anymore. Oh, Bob, you never let me have any fun. Sorry, you're Langswar. What do you want me to do? It's your fault for marrying me, you asshole. Should have let me be.
You weren't much better off perching in the trees. So some respect.
I wonder if the dancing, like, if she just has this big wad of hair and nails in the back of her neck, and, like, the dancing dislodged it.
Ugh.
Or if it was like she digested it.
The back mouth barfed it back up?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Well, that's what happens when you marry the ghost of a woman who died in childbirth.
Yeah, shit could go wrong later.
Yeah, it's not all fun and games, Mateo.
Shit could get ugly.
Yeah, as if a fucking neck mouth wasn't ugly enough.
Hey, you don't see it that much, though. Let her grow her hair back out. You're like, see, it's all good.
I guess. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I love her mouth, back mouth, and all.
Why do you hate our love?
Because she's trying to eat the village children.
Because she's sucking baby blood, okay? That's why we don't approve of your relationship.
Then maybe we should just give her some. She won't have to take it.
You know what? That's a good idea. I'll go impregnate her, and then she can suck on her own baby all day long.
Suck your own baby, you vampire devil bitch.
Oh God, baby sucking assholes. I just don't get like why these women, after losing their own children, want to seek revenge on other children. Like I like the ghosts that are like they want to take care of the babies. It's like, oh no, but I'm a ghost and I'll take care of you, and I'll be your ghost mom, and everything will be cool. Not the ghosts that are like, come with me so I can drown you in a fucking river. Like, what an asshole. Or come with me so I can suck your blood, or tear your internal organs out with my bare hands and feast upon it. Like, those are fucking assholes.
Yeah. Especially since they're the ones who caused their children's death in most of these cases. A little too late to be pissed about it now, ladies.
Yeah, it's your damn fault. Well, I mean, I guess it's not when it's a miscarriage or something, or stillborn.
Yeah.
Unless you were like jumping off of roofs and landing on your stomach or something, then it is your fault.
Well, of course.
But anyway, so it can get worse. But then you got the other side where well, I shouldn't say that it gets better, but at least these ladies don't want to rip your flesh off and suck your baby blood. But there's, well, we've all heard the Banshee. The Banshee is probably the most famous one.
Mm-hmm.
And she's also known as Woman of the Fairy Mound, or even Fairy Woman in some cases. But she's an Irish spirit that is supposed to be a warning of death, or a messenger of death. She'll if a family member dies away from home, the Banshee will visit the family that night.
Oh wow!
And cry and scream. But they're also connected with the tumuli, the big burial mounds throughout the Irish countryside. But apparently these are spirits that live within those mounds, but they come out to either warn or send the message of death. That they themselves don't kill people and they don't cause death. They're just sad. They're like, we're crying for you. We're just letting you know that somebody died, and it's so sad, and we're crying.
Very Mothman-like.
Yeah, except, crying lady ghost. But she's typically seen as having long streaming hair and wearing a gray cloak over a green dress, and her eyes are red because she's always crying. But I guess there's a tradition in Ireland and parts of Scotland that part of traditional mourning when a family member dies is for there to be a keening woman present. And this is a woman who will basically cry really loud at your funeral. And in some cases, these women were professionals, and the best criers were in high demand.
Wow.
But there's an old story telling of a fairy woman who was singing a song for a family member who, in some tellings, it was a family member that died, and others it was a family member that was about to die. But she started crying for people that had died far away, and news of their death had not yet come to their family. So she became this banshee, and the wailing of the banshee is the first warning to the family of that a death had occurred away from home. But in some cases, she's also acts as a warning. And if someone is about to enter a dangerous area, or something is going to occur in their life that would result in their death, the banshee will appear and start screaming and crying, and it'll basically turn the person away so that they don't go down that path or do what they were about to do, which would kill them.
Well, you always hear about Banshee like killing people or causing mayhem.
No, they're just warnings and sad for the people that die. But I guess if you're going back through Irish tradition, if you're going back through Irish tradition, the Banshee is said to only cry for the people that are that have the prefix O or Mick.
Huh.
But there is an account where where the Banshees mourn for the Geraldines because, as the story says, they became more Irish than the Irish themselves.
Kind of like everybody after Gangs of New York came out.
Yeah. Or anyone in fucking Boston on St. Paddy's Day. Yeah. You know how they do.
Well, that puts Banshees in a different light for me, and I think it's interesting how you linked it to, like, just the screaming or crying woman like Lllorona, and it's just weird to hear this warning thing like Mothman. That's awesome. I never heard this. I heard that when she heard her scream that she was coming to kill you or you were going to die. But what you're describing, it's not so much of like she's gonna stab you when she gets the first chance.
No, she's not looking to shank fools. She's more like, get out of here! You're gonna die. It's so sad if you die, and I don't want you to die. So go away.
Maybe it's just meant to be so annoying that you're like, shit, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, more annoying, not so scared. It's like, oh shit, there's a Banshee code. Just get out of here before it sees us. Go.
Yeah, it's effective.
Yeah. But then there's a scarier version of the Banshee.
Nice.
And this is known as the Hag of the Mist. And it's an old Welsh legend. But the Hag of the Mist is it takes the shape of a hideous woman. But she's got crazy hair. She's all withered looking. And she has leathery wings, long black teeth, and pale corpse-like features on her face.
Holy shit, that's hardly a woman.
Yeah. But she'll appear in the window of a person that's about to die, and she'll call out their name.
Ooh.
So could you imagine waking up in the middle of the night and hearing someone be like, Mateo! Mateo! And then you open your eyes and you see this creepy zombie woman with fucking crazy hair and wings just saying, Mateo! And you're like, oh shit, that's terrifying and annoying. And now I know that I'm going to die because she said my name outside my window. Like you get super terrified and then you know you're about to die. But she doesn't kill you. Again, this is one of those warning things.
Well, good. I don't want her to grab my junk or rip my stomach out or whatever the other lady did.
Yeah, all sorts of terrible things.
No back mouth, please.
But she also is said to travel invisibly next to people that are walking, and if they approach a stream or crossroads, she'll scream their name into her ears. But she'll also scream, my husband, or my child, my little child. And occasionally in a male's voice, it'll say, my wife. But it lets the person know that death is coming. And as soon as they hear her shrill voice, death will approach.
That's such a creepy aspect. Imagine just one entity like that from any culture in the world. Imagine that being real. It's just like, you wake up one day and there's just weird faceless people in white suits on every corner of the street and you're like, fuck, something bad's going to happen. And they just disappear and you're like, shit, it's going to happen now.
Yeah. Yeah, at least the Banshee tells you to get away. But this thing, if you hear it, death is right around the corner.
Wow.
So, buckle up, I guess. Or don't, whatever, you're going to die. But there's versions of this that also appear along the coast, the Gilgormanshire coast, and it's said that it will appear before shipwrecks, and when it appears, it has a will-o'-the-wisp with it.
Whoa!
Yeah, so it's kind of there's that association as well.
They're tag teaming people now.
Yeah.
What is the will-o'-the-wisp supposed to do?
Well, the will-o'-the-wisp has a few different associations with it. There were some beliefs that said it would lead you into the swamp or into a lake or whatever to drown. But there's basically it was a explanation for swamp gas. But before people knew what swamp gas was, they came up with will-o'-the-wisp. They would also call them ghost lights or corpse lights.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's basically just a story. But there's a fun story about it. It's an Irish version of the story. But there was a guy named, depending on the telling, he was either Drunk Jack or Stingy Jack. But he had apparently lived a life of sin and villainy, and when the devil collects his soul, he tricks the devil into turning him into a coin so that he can pay for one last drink. So
I'm a coin now. Just throw me in a cup of beer.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. He tricks the devil into turning into a coin.
Oh, he makes the devil a coin?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty good.
He uses the devil to buy a drink.
Yes.
Or, well, that's what he tells him. But, so the devil turns into the coin, and then Jack picks up the coin and puts him in the pocket next to his crucifix, which will prevent him from turning back into the devil. Oh. And then he makes another deal with the devil after being like, hey, I know we just made a deal that you would turn into a coin so I could pay for my last drink, then you'd turn into the devil and we'd go to hell. And I kind of fucked you over on that one, but here's a new deal. I'll give you back your freedom if you give me 10 more years of life. And so 10 more years go by, the devil shows up to collect his soul. But Jack, again, comes up with this wacky plan and makes the devil climb a tree. And then he carved a cross underneath the tree so that the devil couldn't climb back down. So the devil's stuck in this tree. And so this time, Jack's like, hey, devil, I'll help you out and let you down, but you have to give me my soul back. So the devil's like, well, I can say that I won't take your soul, but you're kind of a shitty person and you'll never be allowed into heaven. So once he dies, he has to go to hell and ask for a place there. But the devil says, no, you can't come in here because you were a dick to me, so I'm not letting you come into hell. So here's an ember from the fires of hell so that you can light your way through the twilight world, and that's where lost souls go and they can never escape.
And that's a will-o'-the-wisp?
Yep.
Wow.
And so it's the will-o'-the-wisp is Jack carrying this ember made from hellfire.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Imagine going to hell and the devil's like, nope, no more of your shenanigans, get out.
Yeah. You know what? I'm sick of your shit. You tricked me twice. I don't even want you in hell.
Not
Fuck
this
off.
dick again. Get out.
Yeah. What, you want to make me fucking dig a hole this time, you fucking asshole? But I mean, honestly, how dumb is the devil in this case? Like,
I know.
3 deals and Jack fucks him on all of them. God, what an asshole.
Yeah, we did that show about making deals with the devil, and he's always a dummy.
And winning.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
Thank you for listening to the Whatcast. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, iTunes, and YouTube. Enjoy the podcast. Get yourself a Whatcast t-shirt or a sticker pack. Who was that dude on that one episode? Try the links in Homie's page. All this and more can be found at www.thewhatcasters.com. Thanks again for listening and have a great week.